might as well just do it.
We're going to wing it. Welcome to episode 5 of the Working Theory podcast. We have a lot of topics to kind of graze over. Obviously, things in the news are progressing quite fast today, but we're going to go over some of the lighthearted stuff first and kind of bleed into the more serious topics.
Exactly. So, as always, I'm JP.
I'm Jared.
And we are changing it up a little bit. We're both in the same spot for once. And this is how we'd like to do it moving forward. We're messing around. I shouldn't say messing around because of the weight of the last emergency upload that we had. However, on the software that we use, it allows us to kind of make like AI voices made after ourselves. And it is some weird stuff. I will tell you that.
It's disastrous. At one point, it sounded like me. And then the other point, I sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks. And then it started making strange ghost sounds. So I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, burn some sage or something, make sure this house is...
Something's happening, man.
I'm really not sure what that was about. Like, I don't even think humans can make that sound. It was like you were listening to a robot, like, actually thinking.
Like a ghost robot.
Yeah.
Like as weird as, like a cool robot. It was like... Whoa.
Yeah. And it thinks this guy ends every sentence with E.
Yeah,
So I think that's pretty good.
And I don't know how that, regardless.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, on to today's episode, we figured we'd start it off with talking about the triumphant win that Team USA had at the Olympics with both men and women's hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know a better person to talk about that than you, my friend.
Yeah. Long story short, I've loved hockey my entire life. It's a family thing. Unfortunately, I was kind of poor. So playing hockey is an expensive sport. I didn't really get that luxury. So, I mean, for me, it was just, I got to watch every Bruins game every time, all 82. If they make the playoffs, I'm watching that. Like, do not even call me during the game. That is a big mistake. I will not answer it. And if I do, it's not going to be pretty. But anyway, I know that the last episode we touched on the Olympics in general, and of course the gold medal game for the men's, at least. I did not watch the women's game, unfortunately. I think the men's game is just a little bit faster paced, and that's really what I love about it. So I watched that, and it was at 8 a.m. I magically woke up at 7:30, and I figured, you know what? I need to watch this game. And I'm so glad I did, because as far as hockey games go, this was an instant classic.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't think we were going to win. You know, Team USA, we have some great hockey players. I mean, the NHL is obviously an American and Canadian league for the most part, but most of the teams are in America. But for those who don't know, the Canadians will always have the best players in the world. The best hockey players come from there. I mean, sure, there's some European talents like David Pastrnak from the Bruins you can't ignore.
Naturally.
But Team Canada has players like Connor McDavid. And if you follow the NHL at all, people legitimately refer to him as Connor McJesus.
They really did a good job. The Canadians, honestly, Team Canada,
they destroyed us the whole game.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. As someone who watches hockey, I'm thinking we're surviving at like Team USA was.
We were texting each other
Yeah.
all the way up into the third period. And like when it went into overtime, we were like, this is going to be either really good or really bad. Thankfully,
I was glad we made it to OT. I didn't think we were going to.
I thought they had it right at the end there.
Yeah, I thought we blew it. I thought we did. We had that 4-minute double minor in favor of the United States after someone got, their teeth knocked out. And I'm like, oh, this is our chance. And then we blew that by committing yet another penalty.
Yep.
Kind of leveled the playing field a little bit. And then I'm pretty sure the Canadians won on the power play right beforehand. Yep. So it was really survival. But let's just go back to the game in the very beginning. I did not expect the U.S. to get the lead.
No. Neither.
Matt Boldy scored arguably one of the prettiest goals I've ever seen in Olympic play.
It's a cute way to put it.
Yeah, it really was. It was beautiful, man. Like, it was insane. He flips the puck up over the defenseman, somehow gets by him, and then slips it by the goalie very early on. And I'm thinking, wow, we might have a chance to make this respectable.
Right.
I really was expecting like some kind of like 5-0 blowout given the rosters. Not that Team USA wasn't stacked too, but the Canadian team this year was built.
Oh, they were built, dude.
Yeah.
They did such a good job. Like I said, that was one of the better games of hockey that I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, the only one that would compare for me personally in my lifetime would be Game 7 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was Bruins Maple Leafs. It was like 5-2 in the third period, and somehow the Bruins managed to tie it up in regulation, and then Bergeron won it in OT. That was defining for me because it solidified my love for one, the Bruins, but
100%.
hockey. In this case, watching this game, like, what a goaltending performance.
Oh my!
First of all,
I know. I was going to say both sides.
yeah, both goalies stood on their heads. I knew Connor Hellebuyck had that in him. He really is probably the best goalie in the world right now. But some of the saves he was making, he stopped Connor McDavid on a breakaway, who's pretty much automatic. He's one fast and sneaky.
Yeah.
So I thought that was over a couple of times. And then, who was it? Nathan McKinnon. He's one of the best goal scorers in the world right now. Misses a complete wide open net, which is luck. Like, it felt like divine intervention. That could have ended the game. Then Hellebuyck made an incredible save behind his back with his stick. Like,
that will go down in the history books.
Yeah, it already is.
Yeah.
Those pictures are everywhere. And now, I love the nickname Hellebuck's gotten as the Secretary of Defense. That's going to stick. That's career defining.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
100%.
Overall, it was just amazing. I'm glad we won. What was it, 46 years? I know it was in the 40s, but...
No, it was 1980, 46 years.
46 years.
46 years.
46 years we had not won the gold.
Almost half a century.
Yeah.
I mean, my aunt and I were... So I woke up that morning, my aunt texted me. She's like, are you watching the game? You know, she's down in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm watching. You know, and we were just going back and forth. And she was like, it'll be the first time since the Miracle on Ice. And I'm like, I know.
Right.
But I wish I was alive to see the Miracle on Ice. I mean, I grew up... we grew up watching that movie in school and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, but to actually be alive and witness it, it was so cool. That team did such a good job, man. I'm so proud of them.
I know.
And listening to the interviews after, especially from Jack, I mean, it was just...
Yeah, Jack Hughes being the overtime winner, you know, just that whole, like, I love America, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's got, you know, his tube's completely gone, basically, at that point. Blood's dripping from his mouth. He's got the United States flag draped around him. And that one was beautiful. But then the celebration afterwards was very touching. I was honestly choking up a little bit because the way they did it. Johnny Gaudreau was a player in the NHL. He unfortunately passed away while riding a motorcycle with his brother. He was supposed to be part of the team. So Team USA.
Number 13.
Yep. They kept his jersey up in the locker room the entirety of the tournament. And at the very end, after the first team picture was taken, a couple players got up and went to go get Gaudreau's kids and took another picture with them. And that, like,
I'm not gonna lie, man.
That was, it's touching.
I was tearing up at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's like on Sunday or whatever. Yeah.
I didn't want to cry at a hockey game.
Yeah, that was touching, dude.
That's why sports are important, especially the Olympics. Obviously, there's a lot of sports no one's ever really heard of in the Olympics. For, you know, whatever reason, you know, football makes a lot of money. Hockey doesn't make the most money, but still, this was big for us in that regard. But yeah, it's important. It brings people together. And in that case,
I mean,
celebrating a family that, you know.
Because he was New Jersey Devils, right?
He might have been at the time. I remember him mostly in his tenure. I believe it was the Blue Jackets. Amazing player.
I know he's from New Jersey because he was big in the Jersey hockey community. Yeah, I mean, crazy stuff. But just the games in general, they've wrapped since our last episode. I mean, this was one of our best, if not best, winter finishes. We got, 12? I think 12 medals?
12 gold. I know we finished in second. It might have been 20 total or something like that. But yeah, I can't recall the last time I thought, wow, that was a good performance in the winter.
I know, even in the last episode, you were saying, like, normally the U.S. doesn't do the best in the Winter Olympics, but we did pretty darn good. I think we held our own.
No, and no one's touching the Netherlands. So I know they're in the 30s, you know.
I mean, it's winter there like all year, I think, right? So,
exactly.
It's just me being a stupid American.
Which is a good point, because I remember looking at, like, the bobsled competitions, and Team USA had so many people from Georgia.
Yeah.
Where do they find the time?
Well, it's like the whole Jamaican bobsled thing, you know? Yeah,
that was cool. I remember that last winter. Yeah.
I mean, even how they first got there. There's that movie with is it John Candy? No, I forget.
The Great Outdoors.
You're right. No, the Jamaican bobsled team movie. That's a great one. I got to rewatch that. All the shorts have been popping up on YouTube since the Winter Olympics. But no, just the story of how it's, once again, it's like the Georgia guys. It's like, where do you guys find, like, is there a sliding arena in Georgia or a sliding track? Where do you learn how to do that? Like, I've wondered that, because there's this guy that was he's at a skeleton or luge from Connecticut, and I don't know if he won gold, but he did pretty well. And they're like, oh, he's 35 and he started at 31. I'm like, where do I learn how to start? I'm 27. I'll tell you what, if I get the chance to go sliding, I will. Like,
Yeah.
that's got to be so much fun.
It must be. The bobsled stuff fascinates me because, like, sure, I have the internet. I could look this up, but they're talking about, the pilot being the most important. I believe one of them was from Mass, too.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal.
Yep.
And then you have the other guys behind you on the team ones. And I'm thinking, pilot, how are they steering this? It really just, like, to me, it looks like gravity.
Right.
Do they have a little wheel?
That's right. Maybe there's like handlebars or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea.
All the sliding sports just fascinate me.
Yeah. But again, great Olympics.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It was the 2026 will go down as one of the coolest Winter Olympics that I've witnessed.
Yeah.
Ski cross actually happened after the closing of the games. It wasn't actually Olympics yet. They had snow cross, which was like the snowboard version. The skiing happened a few days after. Very disappointed with that. I thought it was listed as being part of the games, but it wasn't. Maybe not next year. Maybe in 4 years. We'll see.
4 years. We'll see where it is.
But yeah. Anything else on the Olympics, man?
Not really. I do think that this could bleed into the next topic really well, which would be the State of the Union, because believe it or not, the men's hockey team was there.
They were.
Which is
super cool. I mean, the timing. Talk about timing, right? They fly back. They get delayed. They can't fly back. I know at the regional airport because of the nor'easter that we got, which gave us like almost 3 feet of snow.
Great.
Yeah, right. We had a fun snow day. But then they get flown down to Florida, and then they end up getting called into the White House and all that stuff. And one thing leads to another, and they're at the State of the Union. And Hallebeck, he got an award, didn't he?
He sure did.
By
the president.
Yeah, Presidential Medal of Freedom. I mean, he deserves it, man. I don't know. At the Olympics, do they have an MVP? Did I miss that?
They did, and they chose Connor McDavid.
Really?
Of Canada. Which, yeah. You're going to tell me you're not giving it to Hellebuck after that one game alone?
Or Jack Hughes.
Yeah, Jack Hughes, I mean, the game winner. But no, it was all Hellebuck. There's no opportunity for Jack Hughes if you have, like, and I hate to say this because I'm a Bruins fan, if, like, Jeremy Swayman was in net, he would have allowed, like, 5 or 6 at that point.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, there were so many shots on goal.
Yeah, it was
on both sides. Both sides just did so well. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, as far as the State of the Union goes, I mean, there were a bunch of awards that were handed out. We had 2 Medal of Honors and a Legion of Merit award given out. I mean, they recognized Chief Warrant Officer Eric Slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty instrumental in planning the raid to go and capture Medora.
Mm-hmm. Was he the one that got injured?
Yeah, he got hit, I think, 4 times, and still he was flying a Chinook, which is the helicopter that's got the 2 rotors on top. Like they go whoop, 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 whoop. They're really, really loud. We hear them around here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was super cool to see him, because I mean, he was instrumental. Warrant officers they're interesting, man. I mean, we can get into it, but like in the military, there's the enlisted guys. So that's like anywhere from your E0 or E1 to like E9 in some cases or whatever, I guess. But that goes from like your junior enlisted to your NCOs, which are non-commissioned officers. And then you have your officer ranks, which is like your second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, so on and so forth. But warrant officers, the Air Force actually just brought them back. So it's going to be interesting to see how they implement them. But in the Army, which is the one that I can really only speak to, warrant officers are like the unicorns. Like, they don't have a chain of command or like a job. Like, their only job is to be a technical specialist. And a lot of them are pilots, the way that the Army uses them. And so it's like, they don't really have staff duties as much as other guys do. And so this dude pretty much, I'm assuming, was pulled aside and was like, hey, what's the best way for us to get in here and complete this mission? And so he was apparently super instrumental to the point where, I mean, he got the Medal of Honor, unfortunately, on top of being injured. But it's funny, whenever I see somebody getting awarded the Medal of Honor, they don't look happy. And I don't blame them, because in order to be, eligible for that, and you have to go through something incredibly.
Yeah, they normally almost die or save a bunch of people that were on the brink of death. They saw horrible things.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go.
And it's like, it's just, it's incredible. The other Medal of Honor recipient I thought was pretty interesting. He was 100 years old. Captain Royce Williams.
Mm.
And he was a Navy pilot during the Korean War. So Navy captain, the reason I specify that is in almost every other branch, captain is an 03. In the Navy, captain, I believe, is 06.
Okay.
So it's the equivalent to a full-bird colonel. Yeah, he was in a dogfight that was classified, like all the way up until recently.
Oh, wow.
And because it was declassified, he could finally be recognized for it. And he downed, I think it was 5 or 6 enemy aircraft, like, because they were in places that they shouldn't have been in. But I mean, guy had like almost no backup, almost no fuel left, almost no ammo. It was insane. His story is really, really cool. So I highly encourage any listener that is curious about it to go and look it up for themselves. There's a lot of really good videos out there. We couldn't make a video close to some of the stuff that's out there about it.
Nah.
And then the Legion of Merit went to Scott Rustin, who is he's a petty officer, 2nd class, I think, in the Coast Guard. He's the dude who was his first real mission was during the Texas flood, saved 164 people.
Wow.
I mean, that is insane. First day on the job. I mean, not first day on the job, but first day out of training, really, like, first real mission, first time going to work. And you have 164 saves. That guy's, I mean, I don't know. Have you seen the movie The Guardian?
No.
With Ashton Kutcher?
I don't think I have.
So it's about Coast Guard rescue swimmers, which is what this guy is. So the Coast Guard rescue swimmers are like, the Coast Guard is such an underrated branch. I mean, obviously every branch of the military is very respectable, but the Coast Guard is like, everybody likes to talk smack and call them puddle pirates and all that. But when you're stuck out in the middle of the ocean, or in this case, stuck in the middle of a flood, who else is coming out to save you?
Yeah.
I mean, 164 people. So one of the girls that he rescued from the camp in Texas was actually there with him, which I thought was super cool.
That is.
And so when he got the award, she stood up with him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
At camp.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy how our nation can have something like that happen. You just kind of forget about it a little bit too.
Yeah.
That flood was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that now. That was catastrophic.
Yes, because I think that was like right around the 4th of July.
Yeah. That's probably why I forgot it. The 4th of July is my favorite holiday. I will make that loud and clear.
I know.
So I always have a great time. I believe I was in Rhode Island or something.
Mm.
Yeah, I was in Rhode Island, enjoying the beach and having some burgers, good food, fireworks, the drill. But yeah.
To piggyback off our last full-length episode, we were starting to talk about the terrorists.
We sure were.
What do you think about
Okay, so that's the one part of the State of the Union. Again, I didn't watch the whole thing, which, for one, I thought it was going to be very predictable, which it was. Like these things, we have them every year for a reason, The best part, I think, is the award ceremonies, basically, where you recognize people. Really good job. I love that stuff. But no, there was at one point where Trump was mentioning the tariffs and basically just told the Supreme Court this was one of the worst decisions ever made and really was ragging on him for it, which me personally, I'm more of like a constitutionalist by default. And I know that, constitutional oversight is the one job of the Supreme Court.
Yep.
I don't really appreciate any branch of government, whether it's the president or Congress, knocking what the Supreme Court is doing, because they're supposed to be nonpartisan, non-political. That's what it's supposed to be. And they're only supposed to take things at face value. And they look at the past to an extent. They do acknowledge context. Like you read any decision, there's a whole, explanation of why they got to this point. But yeah, I just didn't like that part at all. I did not appreciate the president just bashing the Supreme Court. Like they're there to do that. At the end of the day, a lot of the financial stuff, especially taxation, is determined by Congress. So I understand where they were coming from on that. And I do believe in that previous episode, like even though the Supreme Court is supposed to be nonpartisan, it does feel like there's a conservative majority right now. It's still ruled against him,
I mean, even Justice Kavanaugh, I mean, he had one of the longest submissions of why
his rebuttal was 60 pages long.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Trump did a really good job overall.
Yes, I will say that. It was Yeah,
because
I watched.
he could have gone so much harder. And there was one point where everybody was kind of trying to protest him, and he was like, you know, what, you're going to go against me for recognizing American heroes and for wanting, you know, the country to be safe. I think that there's so much, and not to get too political about it, but so much of what Trump is doing right now is literally the same thing that the Democrats were doing. I mean, if you look at the amount of, you know, migrants that are in custody, Trump is responsible for a fraction of them compared to what was happening under even Biden, but especially
Mostly Obama.
Yeah,
Mostly Obama, who founded ICE, by the way.
yeah. So it's like it's everything's being so politicized, and I think that the majority of the country and the majority of the people that aren't involved in government are just sick and tired of it, man. And that's why I'm so happy that we have this platform now, because this is where we can kind of all come and say, okay, listen, what's on the right is on the right, what's on the left is on the left, but the majority of us are right down the center. You know, I mean, they say, you know, don't the person who sits on the fence gets the splinter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that that's a made up term by people who just want to push you further to one side or the other. Obviously, you know, I'm more of a conservative person. And I'm not ashamed to say that, but
Me neither.
The way that things are going, it's just, we're tracking on such a dangerous route, man.
Yeah, no, we are. I can't even talk to family anymore, or some family members. They hate me just because I slightly disagree with them.
And that's the problem. It goes even down to like the state level. Like, we're here in Massachusetts, and what's one of the big hot button issues that they're talking about in the state house now, huh?
Oh, this one actually got me very cranky, because I think about myself. I think about you.
Yep.
I think about a lot of people who are hardworking people. And mind you, it's not even real yet, but they are suggesting that we start to tax our citizens even more, because I mean, we're already taxed up the wazoo.
We are one of, if not the highest tax base.
Yeah, over taxation, overspending, and it's only going to get worse from here, probably, unless something radical changes this. But yeah, they're thinking about taxing us on our car mileage. You know, because, you know, we have to get to net zero carbon emissions by 2050 or whatever, which, by the way, is quite impossible no matter how you go about this, because what factories are going to build these, you know, cars, these electric vehicles, and then the mining of lithium in general waste so much water that the West Coast would probably have zero drinking water within a life.
Not even the water. Think about it. Have you seen what these lithium mines look like? Mm-hmm. It kills every plant life and everything within like 500 miles of it.
Think of it as legitimately like it's basically nuclear.
Yeah,
it's the same idea.
And it's not good for the people that work in it.
No, it's not. They all have cancer.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. But just the whole idea of, you know, you hop in your car, you have an hour-long commute, which is very real for people in Massachusetts, especially Western Mass. It's easy for, and I'll name drop her a bit, our governor, Maura Haley, to say, hey, no, we need to make this happen. Easy for her to say. She lives in a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood out near the outskirts of Boston. I've seen her house.
Yep.
And they have public transportation, and it's still not even that good. Western Mass does not have this.
No.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I rode a bus out in Western Mass. Okay? There's a bus station out in Springfield that can bring you to Boston, but still, that would require me to drive roughly however long just to get there, to get to the next place. And that's providing I have my own vehicle, which a lot of people out here need. Like, it's an actual necessity. But, and let's bring back the Constitution here, driving a car, having a driver's license, having a kid, getting married, these are all liberties. They're not rights. The government can take this away from you. And I really want to educate people on that, because if the government starts going, at least our state government going, if you drive over this amount, you're going to have a huge tax increase, it's only going to cripple the middle class a little bit more.
And just
if not completely.
Just to educate people that might not be aware, the way that they're going to enforce this, so Massachusetts has one of the strictest inspection laws. So a lot of states, and where, I don't know where you were, you know, viewing from, if you want to leave it down in the comments, that'd be cool, so we can kind of start to see where some of our viewers are from. But for those of you who are unaware, Massachusetts has one of the strictest inspection laws in the state, or sorry, in the country. So the way that it works is every year we have to bring our cars in and they get inspected, and part of that inspection process is them verifying the miles on the odometer. So that's how they're going to keep track of it. And that's going to get reported to the state, and the state's then going to bill you essentially every year for your mileage. It is a complete overreach, in my opinion, and it's the way that things already are. I mean, if you have a check engine light on, your car is going to fail inspection unless it's, over 9 years old or something like that.
You can't even tint windows. Windows. You can't do anything in this state.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There is fun story
to get around it.
Yeah. Well, when I was on the police department, we had this one guy. He was a rookie. He was brand new, and he would stop cars. He's the only guy I ever met. He would stop cars for window tint, and he had a tint reader in his cruiser. And I never once used a tint reader. I mean, we had them in all the cruisers. I didn't even know where it was in my cruiser. He just, I'm gonna stop you for your window tint. And no, he would go and he would write tickets for your window tint left and right. It's like, but anyways, that's another story for another day. Yeah, no, I just think that the mileage tax is really just kind of designed to be another fee and another another way to impose on the middle class. This state is getting so tough to live in, and I'm sure that some of you guys that are listening that are in Mass understand exactly what we're talking about. I'm sure that there are plenty of other people across the country and maybe in different countries that are kind of dealing with the same thing. It seems like the system is set up to succeed on its own and continue to just take as much as it can from the people.
Yeah. And it's city centric.
Yeah.
Like that's just a fact at this point. I don't see how anyone in our state legislature could really even think this is a good idea, but some of them do. I just don't. You want to alienate the middle class even more, hardworking people. Because it's easy for people who don't drive much and sit at home all day to say, oh, this is great. We'll have more, revenue to pay my social benefits. But now, like, if you live out where we live, and I'm thinking about the South too, what happens in Massachusetts, historically speaking, will travel to other states inevitably. We do a lot of things first, okay? If you're down south, I know for a fact it's like an hour to your nearest Walmart. It can be an hour to your nearest grocery store, depending on where you live. Like, it's completely different.
West, north the coast. Sometimes they're 2 hours.
Yeah.
And actually, that makes me think about our friend up in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
When I go up and stay with them, they're the same way. And that's even in New England. Yeah. I mean, the nearest Walmart isn't, it's technically, I guess the nearest Walmart for them is 30 minutes away. But, there are times where it's like, you got to go somewhere to like a hardware store or whatever, and you're driving almost an hour to the next nearest area and stuff.
Yeah, I guess my greatest fear would be, I want to go to a concert down south and I want to drive there. And then the government goes, sorry, pal, you can't unless you want to pay an arm and a leg. That's overreach.
Yeah.
We have to live our lives.
No, exactly.
Whether it's fun or for work, we should not have to worry so much about incompetence within our offices like this. Like, they're just going to find another thing to tax us on. Whether it's this or, at this point, maybe even cell phone usage, if they can somehow find a way. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but you can even think something and your phone suddenly has it on the screen.
Which is the really weirdest thing. Like, if we start talking about, like, I don't have a cat, right? Mm-hmm. If we start saying cat food,
we're going to get cat food.
I'm going to open up Facebook or open up Instagram, and what's going to pop up? An ad for cat food.
Yeah.
And I'm going to screenshot it when it happens now. And then they will overlay it on the screen or something. Because it's weird. It's really weird. It's this Orwellian, future that we're living in. And even, did you see the Ring doorbell cameras? Their Super Bowl commercial ad?
No.
Oh, it's creepy, man. So,
oh, glorious.
We bought 2 Ring doorbells for my house, and I haven't installed them yet. And after watching this ad, I don't think that we will, because it has this new feature where if you have a missing pet, you can put it out, and every Ring doorbell will communicate with each other and find your pet for you. Sounds like an awesome feature, because how many of us, I've been there where a pet gets out and you're the only thing on your mind is finding your pet.
Yeah.
But if it can find, Mr. Whiskers.
Oh, it can find anybody.
It can find anybody. I mean, Benjamin Franklin said it the best, right? it's and this is a loose quote, but it was, um, he who is willing to trade or liberty for safety deserves neither.
Yeah.
Or freedom for safety, deserves neither. And it's like, are we gonna get to the point where we just all wrap ourselves in bubble wrap and hope for the best? You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, we got to take the training wheels off, and we've got to understand that life is, essentially a series of bouncing your head off the ground and getting scars and having to wear some bandages or put a cast on because you broke a bone. It's life.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you don't go through that, you're not going to learn anything. I guarantee you that. At least not the true life lessons
Right.
either.
And I mean, as the wise one said, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
And so, ideally you can learn from your own mistakes, or even better, learn from others. But it confuses me why we're getting to such like a daddy state,
Oh, I know.
where so many things, like you see what's happening across the world. There's always these cool videos of these cool roller coasters or mountain coasters or these cool activities people are doing that could never happen in America because of lawyers and lawsuits and, red tape.
I'd even add another layer to this. It's not really political at all, but soft parenting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, the funniest thing is the generation that has become the helicopter parents are like us and the people that are like 10 to 20 years older than us, who grew up not having that. Like, it blows my mind. We were the ones that always brag, oh yeah, we didn't come home until the streetlights turned on and all that stuff. And we're the generation that's not letting our kids live. We're the generation that's just like...
It's actually a crying shame.
It is.
It really is.
We're robbing these kids. I mean, I'm not going to... I don't want to... we're not going to go there.
No,
But-
I know. We shouldn't get too deep into that because, again, it's liberty. But personally speaking, if I had a kid, it would be horrifying to me because other parents would judge me beyond belief.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want my kid to get themselves in trouble.
Yeah, but...
I do. And you know what? I'm going to go on air saying this. To the people who bullied me in middle school and high school, thank you.
Yeah.
Legitimately, thank you. You gave me so much character and a drive, a natural drive. Like, I've become somewhat successful so far, and I only intend to keep doing that. It's only because I wanted to. No one told me to do it, and it was because, why not? I went through so much. It's time to seize any opportunity I get. It gave me thick skin. When people say things that offend me now, I don't care.
I have a fun bully story.
I don't care.
I have a really fun bully story for you. So when I moved to the town that I live in now, I was young, and the town is a little bit, how would you describe it? Affluent, prissy,
Yeah, there we go.
prissy. Yeah.
There you go.
If you're not born and raised from there, you're not really from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so moving in there in second grade, I had to deal with my fair share of bullies. And there was this one time where I had a bully, and I decided I'm going to find a really big friend. And so I made friends with a guy that was a lot bigger than I was.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm not going to use his real name. We'll call him
Joe Schmo.
Joe Schmo. I'm like, hey, Joe, what do you think about helping me out? Because so-and-so is being a real jerk to me. And he goes, he's not going to treat my friend that way. And this is like fourth grade. Beat the snot out of this kid. It was the funniest thing. I got suspended for it.
Of course you did. That's the world we live in.
I was the one that was getting bullied, and then had a guy, which, honestly, I was like, in fourth grade, I might have weighed 80 pounds. I was a tiny kid. I'm still not, you guys can tell from the video, I'm not a very large man. I'm not short, but I'm just not beefy by any means. I'm a lanky Irishman, if you will. So I utilize my tools and my connection making, and I had stuff taken care of. And I'm the one that gets freaking, gets suspended. It was the funniest thing, though. I ended up getting an internal suspension and got served with like the nurse. I just screwed off all day. It was a fun time.
That's great.
But now we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor for today's video, and we'll be right back with you. Hey, Jared, what do you think that used to be?
Well, that used to be a bowl.
What do you think happened to the meat?
I sure hope it got eaten.
Well, good news is, thanks to today's sponsor, Bone and Marrow LLC out of Landaff, New Hampshire, if you ever need your meat cut, you can give them a call. Where can they find them?
Their phone number is 802-280-7895. That was 802-280-7895.
You can also find them on Facebook at Bone and Marrow LLC.
It's a perfect time to get into the next topic.
I know.
The middle class.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's get to it. Because it kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, I think.
I think so too.
Now, please, I know you introduced this to me, and it is a little bit a new topic, but the whole concept of it, I do have a lot to say. So please introduce it, what you can about this.
Yeah. So I've heard, and I mean, we're getting into the conspiracy end of this podcast, but I've been told that we are kind of, and it makes sense. We're edging towards a potential social credit score here in the States. Now, what that entails is essentially similar to how China, runs their stuff. A lot of people don't realize anytime that you're in public in China, you're on camera, much like America, but they have a very, very advanced facial recognition system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you jaywalk, your social credit score goes down. If you do one thing or the other. So essentially what I'm just getting more and more concerned. It's because as we're talking about, the people that are willing to trade their freedom for security, or liberty for security or whatever, or for safety, they don't deserve either, because we're going down such a slippery slope, like we were talking about the Ring doorbells.
Well, we definitely are. Well, think about it right now. We have this microphone right here, but there are probably like 4 other microphones, even excluding our cell phones right now. They're active,
So they're even capable of taking the speakers on on a smart TV
mm-hmm.
and converting them to be microphones. And we've talked about the Patriot Act before on this podcast. I don't know if we talked about it in episode 1, 2, 3, or 4. I forget when we talked about it. But
we should always talk about that. That's big turning point.
It's one of the most abysmal, acts that have been passed. And to call it a Patriot Act blows my mind.
No, it's like un-American. It is ever exists.
The most unconstitutional, un-American thing. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. How many bad guys have we actually caught with it?
It doesn't matter. The price is way too high to pay.
How many normal Americans? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into Ruby Ridge, but I kind of want to talk about Ruby Ridge.
Take a second for it. Why not?
Are you familiar with Ruby Ridge?
Not entirely. I'm all ears for now. Okay.
So,
I know about Snowden, obviously, but that's only somewhat.
Ruby Ridge is going back way further than Snowden.
Yeah.
I forget what year Ruby Ridge was. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is that I saw a thing about it today that people were talking about. So the ATF went, and I'm not the expert by any means when it comes to this, but obviously I was law enforcement. I was never federal law enforcement or anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that are federal law enforcement, and I have friends that work for the ATF. And it was the ATF when this guy had a shotgun that was just too short to be compliant with the National Firearms Act.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. It was like an inch short or something like that. And so the ATF went and essentially had to stand off. They shot his dog. They shot his son. They shot his wife, who was holding his baby. They shot him. It would turn into this whole armed standoff thing. And he was living like in a homestead out in the middle of nowhere. And they rolled in with a tank. And it was just insane. It was like Waco, but the Branch Davidians were arguably insane. This guy just had a short shot, a slightly too short shotgun. And they shot his dog, his kid, his wife, him. And he ended up, I don't actually think that he ever got charged. I think that he ended up walking away with a small settlement.
Wow. This is crazy for me because I like some pretty radical music, if you will, like the heavy metal stuff. But there's this band, they're from California, Machine Heads. One of their biggest hits in the beginning was like maybe early 2000s, was called Davidian. And it's all about, Let Freedom Ring with the shotgun blast.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling this could be connected.
Could be.
That's pretty cool.
Very well could be. I'll tell you what, man, the late 20th century was really weird.
Yeah.
Everything from serial killers to, it is bizarre how serial killers popped up out of nowhere.
They've always been around, but we started paying attention to it now that we can catch them.
Do you think that that's what it is? Because
yeah, we can catch them easily.
I have the theory, remember when the train derailment happened in East Palestine, Ohio?
Yes.
And then everybody was, then there was a train derailment in Texas, there was a train derailment, and it's like, is it more just because now we're paying attention?
Yeah.
Because the same thing, I think, is when it came to aviation safety in 2025.
Yeah.
Because, we started the year off with that terrible plane crash over the Potomac.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because of that, everybody was paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, I don't think that year outpaced any other year with commercial aviation incidents. General aviation has, unfortunately, it's got a different safety record. But still to this day, commercial aviation is you're more likely, we actually had this talk yesterday.
Yeah.
You're more likely to die on the way to the airport in a car crash than you are in a plane crash.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a huge misconception when it comes to aviation. I used to fly a lot. I used to be in the cockpit a lot. And when a plane, like, everybody's like, oh, what happens if you lose power? There's this thing called the glide ratio. The wings don't just stop working because the engine did. It's not this crazy thing.
No, and the people flying those planes, especially commercial, are so qualified normally.
Plus, there's so many redundancies. I mean, we've had, and I believe in, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I believe that we've had one actual incident where a plane has lost both engines, and that was the Miracle on the Hudson, from the bird strike.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the best outcomes that could have happened. I mean, everybody survived. I mean, Sully, shout out to him. Not that I doubt he'll ever see this, but if you ever do, Captain Sullenberger, you are a freaking American hero. I mean, the skill that it took. I mean, he flew F-4s back in Vietnam, I believe. But no, it's still the safest. You're more likely to survive a plane crash than a car crash.
Yeah. Well, to circle this back to social credit scores, there could be a time where flying a plane, since, it's net carbon emissions here, you're doing damage to the environment. You know that, don't you? You could be a bad person for flying a plane. You might have to for work.
Think about the social credit score. You say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Or you have a low on a social credit. Now you can't go see your aunt in Nebraska.
Yeah. Just crazy.
Now you can't go on that vacation to Disney in California or Disney in Florida that you wanted to go to.
It's a crazy concept. The whole idea of, you might say the wrong thing once or twice, then you can't even buy food at the grocery store, which is more like,
well, that's where it leads to,
but
is this whole cashless society thing.
Yeah.
I'm so concerned. I mean, over in China, the way that everything works is, and I know I said I wasn't going to bring it up, but they have this app called WeChat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their social media platform. That's their Uber. That's their DoorDash. That's how everything is through this one app.
This is society.
And so the way that you pay for most things, even at like street vendors, is through QR codes. Mm-hmm. And you scan the QR code and it's tied into your bank account. But what terrifies me about that is a multitude of things. I mean, number one, my wallet has never run out of battery before. My phone has. So what happens when you're out somewhere and your only means of paying for something is debt? How are you going to charge? If you don't have a charger, what are you going to do? My credit card, my debit card, my cash has never run out of money before. What happens when my phone does? And then I can't pay for it. Now to get to the Orwellian side of stuff, what happens when I said the wrong thing too many times, or I did the wrong thing too many times, and now I'm no longer allowed access to my bank account, or I'm no longer allowed access to travel, or I'm no longer allowed access to food?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that we're there, but I'm saying that I fear we are getting close to a point where we could be there. And it's honestly, it's not a political thing, because either side of the radical spectrum could potentially impose something like that. And that's why
absolutely.
That's why these checks and balances are so important to me.
Yeah, like on one side, if you say anything anti-Trump, if you will, in today's society, if it was already happening, you could face the consequences. And I'm willing to believe that in China, you could even go to jail for that.
In China, you could, again.
Absolutely.
I mean, every year
they don't have freedom of speech.
So I watch a couple podcasts, well, a couple different creators that are pretty big in like the gun tubing space and stuff. And SHOT Show is an event that happens every year in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Now, this group of them, most of them are from the Unsubscribed podcast. They went out and there's always these Chinese people every year. And it's weird because like you're not supposed to be able to get into SHOT Show unless you're affiliated with a firearms manufacturer or whatever. It's a professional conference or convention. There's always Chinese people that are taking pictures of everything, and there's because somehow they get in and they're sending all the stuff back to China, and they're gonna do China does best and make their knockoff, and it works for them a lot of the time. It doesn't work as well as ours,
No.
but it certainly works for them in some capacity. So they were taking pictures with them, and they said like F communism or something like that in one of the videos. And I guess the guys literally pulled the SIM card out, put it on the ground, and stomped on it.
Oh, wow.
Because if that got back to China, it would be, they would get in trouble. And it's like, I don't want us to go to that. I don't want us to end up in that type of society.
Mm-hmm.
It terrifies the heck out of me that we could potentially be heading down a road where what we say what you say can get you in trouble.
Easily.
You say bomb on an airplane or fire in a theater. But I mean to an extent where you can no longer criticize the government. You can no longer criticize the elected people that you put there that are no longer serving you. Because especially in Massachusetts, it's funny. One of the gubernatorial candidates, Mike Minogue, he has a really good mantra, and he's saying Massachusetts used to be looked at like a one-party state, right? And it's not even that anymore because the state audit was voted for by 47% or something like that of the people. And
72, 74, yeah.
Okay. 70, yeah.
It's over 70%.
Yeah, it was over 70%.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah. And for that many of massholes to agree on one thing, I mean,
yeah,
pretty incredible. And so anyways, long story short, the state auditor, who is a Democrat, he's working with, and it's pretty much the way that he says it is it's no longer a one-party state. It's the AG and the governor against the people.
1,000,000% it is, especially this current standing governor.
Yeah.
Well, AG, I guess, but
both. I mean,
yeah,
they're going completely unchecked.
They are.
And that's the problem. Like as much as frustrating as it might be watching the Supreme Court block Trump on the tariffs and stuff like that, that's the beauty of checks and balances. Mm-hmm. We don't see that in Massachusetts.
No, we don't. It's always been, even if we had a Republican governor, which is what I'm scared of, they can try to implement some kind of change, but then how do you get through the House legislature, which is so, like, a lot of these guys have been there for a while.
Yep.
And as soon as they're ready to leave, it's not an election. It's more of an appointment process of their replacement. It's reality at this point. So,
I actually was talking to one of the candidates who's running for state rep today, and we were talking this morning about the obvious big elephant in the room, which is the Iran conflict. And I'm not going to say his name, but he said, I sure just hope that this isn't another one of those we're chasing weapons of mass destruction sort of things. Obviously, you guys, I'm assuming, have seen our previous video. And if you haven't, please go check it out. It was our emergency release earlier today regarding the incidents, the conflict that almost looks like about to be a war.
We didn't call it a war. We called it a war last time. That's what it is now. I mean, from the time we filmed that, now the Iranian president is dead.
Yeah.
Come supreme leader.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was.
The Ayatollah is dead.
Yeah, he is dead.
So
confirmed. Is the world a better place without him? I'll say yes.
I think we're on the road for it.
Yeah, but Iran is bombing a lot more than just, United States and Israeli interests. Like, I'm pretty sure other countries are now getting in the fray. It was Pakistan bombing Afghanistan. Like, it's not looking pretty right now.
What it reminds me a lot of is the powder keg that lit off World War I,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, right? But that wasn't really what set it off. Like, I mean, that's what everybody knows of it. But there were so many underlying factors.
It was already happening.
Yeah, and that was just the spark.
This is how history books look.
Yeah,
like this could be that moment. I hope it's not. But we always try to find a moment.
If you look at it, look ever since October 7th, tensions in that region have been skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel was finally at a point where they were going to be doing really well with Saudi Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
and there was going to be a lot of movement there, economical and defense related. That was going to be quite positive. And then October 7th happened. That sidetracks that, and then we finally get all hostages back, and now we're here with everybody's launching rockets at each other. I mean, I feel bad. Like Qatar, like we talked about. I mean, they had an intercepted missile fall into a neighborhood and just blow up. You were saying Dubai got hit.
Yeah. Like in the outskirts. Yeah. Even Dubai. What did they do?
Like, I mean, I might not believe in the same God that they believe in, right? But I'll tell you what, they've been, for the most part, decent allies economically.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what I mean. They gave us a whole new Air Force One.
Well, I think a big difference is that they're not actively making nukes to try to destroy America, which is what Iran's goal was. People could tell me I'm wrong, but like, just look at the buildings in Iran. Half of them had billboards that said "Death to all Americans," and that was reality my whole life. Like, they do not like Western civilization. They don't like us culturally, but they also want us dead.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, a lot of those countries, they're not anti-West. Like, don't get me wrong, they have their values, they have their traditions. Some of them are more Sharia that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's their country. It's not my country.
Yeah, we have no say.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I blindly just agree with everything they do and all that stuff, and they're our closest allies. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
However, they play nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super important. Iran doesn't. I mean, I wish that I could have seen Iran in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, I know.
Pre-revolution, and how beautiful that country used to be. And I think that this is the first step to giving these people their chance at making their country great again, like it used to be. Because Iran used to be a vacation destination. It used to be a beautiful country that wasn't under, a strict regime with Sharia law and all that. So it's just, it's a developing story still. We can't really talk too much on it because there's only so much that we know.
This is day one.
Yeah.
This is going to be,
I mean, we woke up to war today.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I legitimately did. The first thing I did, of course, as most people would, I wake up, I look at my phone.
Yep.
First thing I see is the United States and Israel attacks Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Written like that, too, which I think is a little interesting. Yeah, it's an attack. I'm willing to admit that, but
it was Israel's largest air sortie ever. No, I mean, I'll tell you what, they certainly kicked the hornet's nest.
They did.
They should have known it was coming. The amount of assets that we put out there and that we had. I mean, we had 2 carrier strike groups plus God knows what else we have there.
You can say they had a 2 weeks notice, but they had longer than that.
Yeah.
But they legitimately had 2 weeks notice. It was like 2 weeks, you're either going to knock this off or we're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
And to take politics out of this, which is kind of like a goal I have with this podcast, is if someone says they want to kill you and are actively trying to build a gun to kill you, are you going to let them build that gun and let them kill you?
Right.
That's simple for me.
Yeah. It's not rocket science.
No, but people act like it is. So,
and at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, do I necessarily care that much of what my political adversaries think about me? No. But what I do care about is them still being able to live.
Yeah.
I might disagree with you politically about something, and we might go back and forth, and we may never agree on a certain topic, but we'll probably find a bunch that we agree on. But what I do care about is you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Per the Declaration of Independence.
Do you know what stops you from doing that? I see DMs coming in from Iran.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted.
Having sleeper cells pop up and activate, which is still a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just because we're on day one, like you said. This is not even close to over.
What happens when Americans that came here from Iran start acting out too? Because that's possible. I thought about that.
Well, that's the sleeper cell issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many unknown threats right now, and I I don't know, man. I'm going to be doing a lot of praying over the next few days.
Yeah, pray for everyone, including people in Iran who got blown to bits that shouldn't have been.
Yeah, the civilians. I mean,
It sucks.
we are so privileged. And I hate that word. I hate that word. Trust me.
Yeah.
But in all reality, we won the genetic lottery to be born in America, realistically. I mean, 350 million people compared to we're at 8 billion now across the world.
Yeah.
Odds of that.
I know.
I mean, it's incredible. There are people that live, especially in the Middle East, where it's essentially been a forever war, whether we've been involved with it or not. And I mean,
they've been at war before the United States was real.
They've been at war since before BC.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it since before year zero. You know what I mean? It's been it's always been a power struggle in that region, and we are just. I'm so thankful, and all of you should be too, because this is just.
Every day I wake up, I say thank God for making me an American, and I just do it because I know I should be grateful, which is why that's the one part about, especially younger Democrats, that really irks me. They say we're such an oppressed country, all of that. Like, go to another country and just see what oppression's like. We are so blessed.
There's this comedian I saw, and he's like, how funny is it that the left will say that we're the most racist country and we're this, that, and the other thing, and then they'll say that, oh, well, everybody should move here. Like, you know what I mean? We want as immigrants, and it's like, but if we're really that racist, then why would you be welcoming that?
Or the countless videos of guys going like, so are you going to leave the country? And they're always like, no.
Well, some of them did. I mean, look at Ellen DeGeneres. She moved, right?
That's fine.
Rosie O'Donnell moved, right? I'm sure that I would have loved to see what Trump actually said in here about that.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, though, we just want to take a kind of serious moment and seriously say we are praying for the world right now.
Yeah.
Especially anybody who's directly affected by this, whether that's the people that live in the regions or those that have friends and family that are service members. This could be the beginning of a really, really large scale conflict, or this could be a quick little flash in the pan, which we're all hoping it is, but there's no way of telling what happens in the future. So this has been Work in Theory, and we're very grateful to have you guys here. So I know it's been kind of a somber day with the news, but we wanted to make sure that we put something out for you guys. As always, please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell so you get a notification every time that we post. And other than that, anything else from you, Jared?
No, just thank you again for having me be a part of this show.
No, man, welcome to the family, man, and welcome to the family to all of you guys. This is going to be something that we plan on taking as far as we can go. So it's been an honor having you guys, and we hope you have a good day.
Amen. Be safe out there.
All right.